And welcome everybody to another episode of Smart Money Circle. With me today is a very special guest all the way from Israel. We have Mr. Yair Nechmad on, who's the chairman and CEO of Nayax, which is a payless or a payment company, a cashless payment company. Yair, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me to the show. It's a pleasure to be over here.
So Yair, I always like to begin. Can you tell us a little about your background and how you got involved in the business?
Yeah, so we started the business. So my background is basically I was running the business in Coca Cola Israel as a marketing manager. And afterwards, I was a GM of May Eden, which is Eden Springs. It's a 5-gallon business and mineral water small pack business. And 15 years ago, I met my partner, David, and he was already doing some kind of cashless payment for unattended machines. And I joined him and we established Nayax, which became to be a dominant leader in the space of the unattended machines.
Excellent. And I know you trade on the Israeli stock market. What is the ticker, in case people are interested?
Ticker is NYAX, and we started trading in May 10. And this is the first step. Next step will come to the US in the future.
Well, we look forward to that. Well, congratulations on the IPO. That's very, I'm sure must be a very big feat or big accomplishment, for lack of a better way of explaining it. So, yeah. So Yair, tell us a little about your business and how you guys serve your customers, the problem, solution, all that fun stuff.
So when we started the business, actually, we didn't realize that we are building something which is disrupting, because we built the business in the payment. It's a combination of payment and IoT. Okay. And we designed a unit that can be fit into the vending machine starting, but then all the rest of the unattended around the globe. Mm-hmm. And it's enabled any operators around the globe. There are more than 44 or 45 million machines in different verticals, not just vending. It could be amusement, it could be coffee machine, massage chair, car wash, etc. And we enable this in a seamless way that the handshake between the units and the machine itself is designed that it is working seamlessly, and every operator can fit into the unit, into the machines. And the payment itself is done through a central server that is basically redundant servers in the US, Germany, and Israel. And from there, it's routing to the acquirers. So okay. We became to be a little bit different than what the regular post terminal are doing, that directly going to the acquirer. Actually, these transactions are coming directly to our server, and from there, it's routing to the acquirers. And we became to be, of course, a payment facilitator. We are a financial institution, and we are connecting more than 45 acquirers around the globe, and we serve more than 60 countries. So we have, in the one hand, the payment part, and the other hand is all the IoT part, which can extract data from the machines and deliver operational excellence in the backend for the operators. So it's the two services in one hand. And we're doing the end-to-end solution globally. And that's the unique proposition of Nayax when we deliver the solution into the operators.
I love that. So tell me a little about the growth that you guys have experienced. I know you've seen, like the J-curve, just a tremendous amount of growth over the last 15 years or so, 10 years, several years. How does that look we have a lot of investors on the show, and they love to know about growth, earnings growth, revenue growth, broader trends in the environment, from more companies moving to cashless payments, etc.
So actually, we have to remember we're dealing with a customer base. It's a very long tail. It's moms and pops. Usually, each and every operator on a global level are operating an average of 10 to 50 machines. They are what we call in retail, we call this nano merchant. Even not the small merchants, it's a very, very small merchant. Yeah. With all the let's say risk reward, that they don't like to take any risk behind any kind of stuff that they're doing, and this long tails of customers are joining Nayax quite nicely. The last 7 years, we have a compound annual growth of more than 35% year over year, and the trajectory of our business is to keep this growth. Although now last year was $79 million in revenue. And we're seeing the growth of the 30% year over year. Actually, in the IPO, we stated that this will sustain for the many years to come. And the reason for this is because the business model that we are serving is a construct from a one-time payment of the hardware, but then you have the service that taking in place in the monthly basis and the clearing basis.
Right.
And once we do an excellence in the service, the customer that start with 5 machine, 10 machine is extending the relationship with Nayax, and we're getting more and more and more and more machine. Actually, 85% of our growth is coming with the existing customers. And that's the beauty of the trajectory that you can see into the future. So we're growing with customer base. We have like more than 25,000 customers today, and we grow just this year, the last 12 months, more than 7,000 customers.
Wow.
And the growth is really, really accelerating. But the real growth in terms of the revenue is coming from the existing one.
Right.
So each customer that we have in our database, we calculate that in the next 3 to 4 years will triple or quadruple the size of him doing business with Nayax. That's why we can see that the next 5 years will keep on growing the 30% and more. That's the nice thing about this. We have just to be very focused on our customers. Yes. and give a very excellence in service.
That's beautiful. So you actually have customers, existing customers, and then you have new customers, and both of those channels lead to more revenue. The existing customers expand, and then new customers come on board, and then they become existing customers and they expand even more.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And this is like a very light way that we can run fast, because we built an infrastructure system, a platform that we have all the data around all the protocols of the machine. So we don't go out from the office to install the unit. It is done by the operator, by the technician, and it's very easy to do. It's like less than 10 minutes. Although the machines itself carry different protocols, we have a magic way of doing this remotely. Once you choose the machine on the backend side, it's download parameter to the unit, and immediately the unit is really fitting to the sequence of the protocol of the machine.
Oh, we love that. So Yair, talk to me a little about the whole buy now, pay later trend that's emerged. We saw Square buy the big Australian company. We know Affirm, Amazon partnered with them now in the US. How is that? What's happening in your world and from your point of view with that?
So it's not happening in the unattended market, because in the unattended market it's immediate transaction. It's FMCG, like immediately transaction. I'm familiar with this over here in Israel. By basically it is done by the card scheme, usually by the issuers in Israel. It was done for many years. Actually, the Israelis are holding, in their mindset, they were holding a credit card, but actually in the real life in Israel, they're holding what you call a deferred debit. Okay. Because usually when you go to the store in Israel, immediately they will suggest you, let's take a 3 payment or 5 payment, and this is done by usually the issuers or the merchants, like automatically in the card scheme, in the way that card scheme over here is built. We are familiar with this in Israel, and it's very relevant. Some of the startup Israelis went into this. I think there is an Australian company called Split doing this in Australia. This is a very common practice, which I believe strongly is a vital practice for many of the retailers. We're going to use this in the extension of Nayax. What we're doing now, we have another 2 divisions. One of the divisions is the full retail solution. Okay. The full retail solution with the ECR and all the scope of solution will carry this ability and much more than this ability once we're going out from Israel. We're doing this over here in Israel. It is we're carrying the post authority over here. We're carrying a very high prestige company in the apparel, and now we're going to Australia and then to Europe, UK, and to US, and this will be part of what we call the one-stop solution that we'll bring into the retailers.
I love that. So my next question, how about crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum? Are you seeing a lot of payments, merchants wanting to use or incorporate crypto into their mix?
I think the challenge, everybody's debating crypto, and not yes, no, whatever it is. I just saw now that the US accepted the ability of a bond, if I recall correctly, regarding so crypto becoming a little bit more into the mainstream. Okay. There is a big debate behind this unregulated, regulated, whatever it is. I believe that it will here to stay. I believe it is because of the demand. I believe that at the end of the day, the role of Nayax in this world is to convert the crypto to what you call real life for retailers. Today, you cannot really take what you call a tap and go solution and go with crypto and buy on a terminal. Right. I believe over here, Nayax can be a big part of a solution bringing to consumers and retailers. And we're working a lot about any kind of alternative payment that can be converted into the retail hands and converted what we call digital, from one end digital money into another hand digital money, which could be a card scheme money or Visa, MasterCard money. We know how to do this kind of things. And this, I think, is the right place that we can play on a global level.
We love that. Well, how about the next big question, online payments? How does that incorporate, if any, into the mix?
So in our retail division, when we started this initiative, we are missing two things to our opinion. One is the ECR, which is called really the cash register. Yep. And we bought a company and we built the company, and behind this we put it on the cloud base. So we are now being able to do what we call a POS solution with an online solution. And basically we incorporate into this what we call the online solution. And on top of it, we bought another company, which is a very, very unique company called Wismo. Yes. It is an AI business that tracking consumers basically on the e-receipt. So once you're getting the e-receipt into your mobile, it's a landing page. By your consent, a GDPR consent, we can track backwards where you've been in my website, the IKEA website, the H&M website, and actually you're bringing the marketing activity of online and offline into the hands of the marketeers of the retailers. So it's a very, very effective way to manage your consumer's journey between online and offline, and realizing exactly what is the spend that you have to do in terms of either it is Google or Facebook spending, and to see the ROI coming back to you, not just by the online, but also on the offline. And it's like a magic. We're doing this over here. And now we're starting exporting this to Australia, UK, Europe, and coming to the US with the retail. So it will be a full solution, end-to-end, consumer, marketing, mobile app, of course, all the acceptance of payment and alternative payment, and the backend system behind it.
Yeah, which is a tremendous amount of growth going forward for your company. So now I guess my next question is with respect to other competitors in the online space and then offline space. So do you compete directly with Stripe, who does infrastructure payments, or is that a complete different business line?
I think we're stepping on many toes, but we're doing this in a way that we are directly with relationship with customers.
Okay.
So we're putting ourselves into really the first tier support into the customer's hands. So we don't have any intermediate in between. Maybe the go-to-market will be with distributor to support, but we are controlling the full end-to-end. And this is the unique about Nayax, that we're bringing what Stripe is doing, what Square is doing, what Toast is doing, what Lightspeed is doing, what anyone is doing. What we're doing this in one-stop shop. So we cannot be caught in the place, or customer cannot catch us in saying, hey, you're doing this, and I will point, no, it's him, it's me. I'm responsible on everything. Right. That's the beauty about what we're doing. We're controlling the end-to-end, and that's a very we believe a very effective way to serve the market and to gain trust from customers.
Oh, 100%. I was going to ask you my next question, but you just answered it. What is the unique value proposition or the unique selling proposition? But I guess that's more or less it, right? You control the entire vertical, the end-to-end.
The entire value chain, and by that we can be very flexible, addressing any kind of moving part, because payment, as we all know, is like a moving part. It's moving all the time. It's changing all the time. Consumers' journeys are changing. Look at consumer journey 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Just the pandemic changed all the consumer journeys from a swipe to tap, from online to offline to curve collection. Everything is changing. Right. And all the digitization of this, we can cope with this in a very, very nice way, because we have so many journeys that we can serve in our system according to customer request.
I love it. So Yair, let me shift the conversation a little bit more towards your role as CEO and chairman. Let's talk about leadership. What, in your opinion, makes a good leader?
Wow, a good leader is there is a nice video I have to recall of a leader of a submarine, U.S. Navy submarine, that I believe it was the right thing. I'm quoting from him. I strongly believe behind this. You have to be a very good listener, and you have to empower your employees. Empower them by basically on a culture base. Right. Culture base meaning that they can take ownership, and you support. I'm calling it. You support their failure. You
Right.
support, but they need to take risks, and that's how you're getting into kind of what you call startup mentality.
Yes.
And this startup mentality can go and go and grow. We'll have today we are 600 employees, almost 600 employees. Will be 1,000, will be 5,000. With this kind of culture and mentality, I think everybody is a leader, not just the CEO is a leader. Everybody should be a leader by listening and by empowering your colleague and your workers, and take responsibility and
Right.
help them to fail fast.
I love that. Yeah, embracing the failures is so powerful, and listening. So leading from within, basically bring everybody else up, have them lead, and then the 600 leaders are better than one leader type of a thing. That's fantastic. So I guess, Yair, my final question is, what's the best piece of advice you'd like to share with the audience? Or if you could go back when you were 20 years old or 30 years old, what advice would you give somebody who's coming up and launching and all that fun stuff?
I think when I was young, I was less of a, what do you call, listener. You know, you're jumping ahead, you're stating your thoughts and everything. So I think that the best thing is, you know, adopt yourself some kind of if you want to be the one that really, you know, navigate and steer, be the last to talk, and listen carefully, and a lot of curiosity. Learn and learn from every conversation, every talk that you have. Try to take it into a different angle. You know, avoid all your what I call position, and try to see things from other position. Never be stuck in your position, and admit that maybe if you fail, admit failure. It's a very strong and powerful internal growth within yourself, that you can admit your failure.
I love it. Well, Yair, thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Adam.